Alexander.
And my name is Mike Hurt.
And welcome again to the Outpost.
Yep, here we are again. We're in the summer months right now. It is 2014. It is so good to see you again.
2024, I believe.
2024? What did I say?
2014.
2014. Ow!
If only we could go back.
If only we could go back. But
reclaim some of our misspent youth.
It's been a crazy decade. So,
yes.
Anyhow, the goal of the show, this is the Outpost. And our focus is on the mission of the disabled American veterans. We like to share some of the good work that we do in the community within the state. But what I always like is when we have our shows, we bring in the veterans within the local community. And we kind of, when we do the different stories, we look at kind of different angles. You know, one time we had all Vietnam veterans, Marine Corps. And so we'll try to work with things. And today we really have a great show, in that we have 3 Desert Storm veterans that are with us right now. First,
Rob Peterson.
Rod Kalata.
And Mark Mennan.
All right. And Rob served in the Army. And Rod, I'm not sure what branch you served in.
Oh, yeah. I made a point of it today, okay? Because I knew I was going to be outnumbered.
Yeah. And Mark, you are?
Also Army.
Yeah. So, you know, what I always like to do is have kind of a little bit of fun with this. Is how did you guys first decide, I'm going to join the military?
Wow. This is actually a funny story.
Does it have anything to do with jail and courts and stuff? Or?
Not so significant, no.
Okay.
My father owned his own construction company, and the plan for me was one day to take it over. Well, at 22 years old, after I'd already started a family, we got in a fight on the job one morning, and that afternoon I went and saw the Army recruiter. And my little brother had already joined the Army prior to me joining the Army. If he can do it, anybody can do it. The first day of basic training, I found out just how much of a tough man my little brother was.
Wow. Well, how was it for you, Rod? Why did you join the Marines?
My dad was in the Marines and stuff like that, and I didn't see a future in my hometown of Ripon over there, and I'm going, I want to get away from hometown and go out and see the part of the world and stuff like that. There's no other way to do it other than going in the military.
No
The
kidding.
Marines.
No kidding, Mark, for yourself?
Well, I kind of like Rod here. I followed in my parents' footsteps with my father, uncles, and grandfather. You know, both sides of the family. A lot of people served, and some didn't come back. But I want to do the same thing. I want to come back, but the thing is, I want to serve. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of our service is just that pride now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it means a lot. So I got to ask, how many, now, you know, for our viewers, there's a term called MOS, and that's Military Occupational Specialty. Basically, it's what's your job. So, I mean, Mark, what was your job for you?
I worked in food service.
Okay.
Started out as one of those fry cooks, hamburger grill guy, all the way up to running my own dining facility. So
Okay. Wow. So now, where did you go for school?
started out
Basic.
Oh, basic was in California, Fort Ord, California, which is a ghost town now. I don't even know if it exists. So all that was out there in California.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and then Rod, for yourself?
Well, I went to San Diego for boot camp, then to
No, that's one thing I've learned.
Yes.
Now, would you be considered a Hollywood Marine? Is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
I know there's certain lingo with the Marine Corps.
and then the Paris Islands, the Sand Flea Marines.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so you were at San Diego.
Yeah. And then I went to Millington, Tennessee for some basic electronic schools and stuff like that. They offered me Great Lakes, but I said, I want to get away from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Next day, they offered me Denver, Colorado, and I went into the calibration program, precision measurement equipment, and so forth. And I spent on and off about 2 years there in schools and so forth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And Rob, what was for yourself?
13 Bravo Field Artillery.
Okay.
And I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for my basic and AIT.
Was that an enjoyable experience?
July. Oklahoma is no place to be in July. Not at all.
No, I gotta ask you guys, because you know we got a Marine here and we got 2 Army guys. What was basic training like for you back in your days? I mean, and even does anything? How many weeks was it for you, Rod?
13 weeks.
Okay.
I was. It was 8 weeks plus 5 for the field artillery.
Had
portion.
like the one station unit training.
Yep,
kind of
and
thing.
we had the same drill sergeants throughout.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Rod?
Well, yeah. One of the first things that happened when we were first there, the first weekend we were there, John Wayne passed away.
Oh no.
Oh.
And, you know, they had a big thing on it that weekend for us. And we didn't actually get to enjoy it, but they announced it. They did a part of the services and stuff like that in churches on Sunday for it.
Wow.
Because he was an honorary Marine.
Wow. I did not know that. Yeah. So what was basic like for you there, Mark?
8 weeks of pure, I'd say, luxury, but HWE hockey sticks. Yeah, it was good though. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And then of course, AIT was there in another 8 weeks. So
Okay. So I did not know that. I thought they had the AIT somewhere else, but they had it at
no,
Fort
right
Ord.
there, Fort Ord. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Now the big schools though, you know, later on for your advanced leadership. Now that was out at Fort Lee, Virginia. So.
Well, part of our boot camp too was at Camp Pendleton for the infantry style training and so forth for about a month.
Okay. So you went to Pendleton for a little bit? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, because that isn't the, I don't know if that, I know for Army it's, you know, every soldier is an infantryman,
Yeah.
but
Rifleman,
that's the
yeah.
same thing with the Marine, I assume.
Oh yes.
Okay.
You go out there, you qualify with a rifle and everything else at 500 yards and this kind of stuff. You run 3 miles farther than anybody else does.
Yeah, we were, I think we were 2 miles back in 76.
For the
Yes.
PT test.
Yeah, PT test.
And we had the infamous mountain there and Pendleton.
Oh yeah, Mount Aaron. We had the crab crawl.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had
I
that.
gotta go use that when you can't do something. You get a profile. I gotta go get that. Yours truly could not do well. Well, even now with the hand advantage, I couldn't do well with crab crawl.
I just always remember in the morning the dirty dozen, where you'd get up in the morning and then the drill sergeant would be on that big block.
That kills them.
Yeah. Oh God. And then I always remember, you know, okay, I know this is gross, but there's, you know, always somebody hacking something up on the side. So then you're doing your push-ups and you're kind of
Avoid the, yeah.
yeah. So anyhow, so you know, you guys, you know, you went through basic, you went through your training. How did Desert Storm happen for you? I mean, you know, as you watched it, did you all of a sudden go, oh boy, I think I'm going to be doing something soon, or was it so far away that it was like, nah,
I think
it's
our
not gonna
unit
happen.
was-
I'm not going to get called up.
Yeah, I thought our unit was like one of the last to go over. It seemed like everybody else was over there from our, you know, Fort Sill. We were an engineer unit, 249th engineer, but it seems like I think that colonel was just saying, "Hey, I want to get my star, so let's go," you know. But we did get over there, and you know, I think it was Daharan. We landed there, and then later on went into Bahrain, I think it was. So first month was okay, you know. We're living right in that little shed there. I didn't put it online, but built up fortress kind of makeshift sandbags and stuff like that. Wasn't bad for a while, but then we got the orders to pull in further, you know, and another month or two there until I got hurt. But you know, it's tent city out there, and it's pretty strict, you know. But it's kind of strange to see a BMW going around on the what do you call it, the berm up there. What are these guys doing? They're all in turbans looking at us, you know. Here we're responsible. All the our vehicles, heavy vehicles for moving dirt around, they fixed them with rakes, I guess, and went ahead. So we lost a lot of our company. It was just basically headquarters there, but we're responsible for whatever headquarters people do, and then my job was to run and get rations all the time, and water.
And that's just yours was so critical because everybody's got to eat, everybody's got to drink wine, especially water out there. Man.
Bullets and beans.
Bullets and meat.
Army travels on the stomach.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
I had to hand out those Happy Meals. I was happy with that.
well, now wait a second. Now, Desert Storm, did you guys have MREs?
We started
or was it
MREs
the
and then T rations.
T rations. T's.
We ate what was available.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
We did get some food from the Marines. Yep.
Yeah, and had a slab of bacon that was this long, that wide, and about that thick. Over half of it was fat. And they said bacon, and going, that looked like a side of camel or something. But,
Quite a bit.
as far as our prep for it, we knew we were going to go. We got the word that yes, we're going. West Coast was going, and they're going to pull up reserve units and stuff like that. Our main unit had units already, aviation units deployed already. So instead of all of our aircraft going, we took aircraft from a different group and brought it over to us with our maintenance unit going with them, and became one big group, 55 and stuff like that. And then we knew the West Coast was coming, and they got over there a little before we did. And I was sent over there with two others to look at the logistics and stuff like that and make plans and everything else. And for 10 days we went around and investigated things, and we found out some people packed for 6 months and we packed for a war. So things got borrowed and this kind of stuff, and we had to help track that down. I had one guy who was responsible for all of it. Got his leg nicked by a stake, by a bush.
Really?
Gangrene within 2 days.
Oof.
We had to go visit him in the hospital and this kind of stuff. He was lucky to make it through that. But we're deployed in a harbor with two different ships and stuff like that. And we're relatively safe until one day one of the Scud missiles broke apart, landed within 200 yards of us. The SEALs pulled it out and said, yes, they designed it with the 60s, 70s technologies to get more range out of it. They pushed it back to the 40s and 50s, so it went up and came down.
Wow.
Did you guys get pretty good at putting on the
Gas
mop
masks?
suits and the gas masks?
Gas masks is the only thing we had to worry about. And it was funny seeing people run around going like this, because they forgot their gas mask and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they open up the gas mask and a carton of Winston's falls over or something.
I know guys that took the filters out because they didn't like it because it's so hot. I said, what's going to happen when you need it,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I remember there was a quartermaster unit had a deadly scud attack back then. So what about this? Were you with what unit were you with?
I was with the 1st Infantry Division.
Ooh, okay, red one.
You got a patch there? All right, he's got a big red one. Got to have your big red one.
If you're going to be one, be a big red
Be
one.
a big red one.
Funny thing is as Desert Shield was going on, people that had no interest in watching the news started becoming students of CNN, and back when CNN was actually somewhat credible.
Well, what was
That's what
one
it
guy's
is.
name? Peter something. He became really big off it. He worked for CNN, and I can remember that he was actually watching things as they were coming in. And
CNN was like on that one of those beaches when the Marines landed.
Yeah.
But so we're in the day room in the barracks, just wait. We were finishing up our lunch break or whatever. CNN's on, and we actually found out the 1st Infantry Division came down on orders before our battalion commander knew about it. They said that on the news, and we all looked at each other and with that big collective. And next thing you know, the CQ desk's phone is lighting up. Battalion formation, 5 minutes. Battalion formation, 5 minutes. And then our battalion commander says, "Well, you may or may not have heard this on the news, but we're going."
Wow. So how did it work out for you? You flew over then?
Yep, we got all of our artillery pieces and the ammo vehicles and all the support vehicles up on trains. It went to port down in Texas, and then we flew over, and we actually beat our all of our equipment to Saudi Arabia. I think we waited maybe almost a month for it to come off of the ship.
Wow.
So, but from the time that we found out that we were deployed to the time that we actually boots on the ground was about a month and a half. I did not get into Saudi Arabia until January 6th of 91.
Wow. So what did you think when you got there?
I'm like, where's my stuff? My gear. Where's my gear? Yes, where is my gear?
Oh, wow.
You know, all we had brought with us basically were our M16s.
Yep.
Mine was an M16 with a M203.
And you had it with you
Mounted
on
to
the
it.
plane?
I had it with me on the plane. They made us pull all of our BCGs out of it, and they kept them all in a box, and that rode in the belly of the plane. But yeah,
I did the Iraq thing, and I'll never forget flying with a weapon on a plane, and it just seemed like kind of, this is weird.
Yeah,
You
very
had
good.
to,
well, your Bruce Willis movie.
Adam,
you had to, if you had a Gerber tool or a knife or something, you had to put that in the belly of the plane, but you're walking around with your fully automatic assault rifle and your sidearm on your hip.
We came across with our weapons and so forth, but like I said, the first trip I was there was for 10 days. We didn't receive any issued ammo. I got ammo from a friend of mine out of Yuma
oh my
for our
gosh.
trip. And then when we went back for the main event, again, they didn't give us any ammo, but I brought along some, and I shared it with one guy who had to deploy on the trucks and stuff like that, because they didn't give him any ammo either.
Wow.
It's a funny story. I remember our battery commander said nobody loads their weapon unless you're given the order to do so. And as we're crossing the breach, my assistant platoon sergeant, which is a gunnery sergeant. Gunnery sergeant is actually a position in the Army. It's not a rank like in the Marines. He says, "Yeah, we're crossing the breach." You just heard every charging handle come back.
Yeah, some of the memories. At what point in time did you guys find out that the war had been won? And that's one thing I got to tell you that, you know.
Wish we knew how that felt.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, just as an Iraq-Afghan guy, the struggle I have is you guys got mission complete. I mean, you guys got mission complete. What was your job? To take Saddam Hussein and kick him out of Kuwait and send him home. And boom, you did it in unbelievable fashion.
We
100
had
hours.
Yeah. And
there was orders not to cross the bridge and go after the Iraqis. It was just to get them out of the country. That's an agreement made by the Saudi Arabians with us.
Yeah. And so that's one thing. Adam, I always get a little jealous.
Yeah.
These guys got mission complete.
Yeah, they also went into it with a clear goal.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. That's really fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but no, it was impressive, and the victory. I got to say, what was the homecoming like for you guys? Did you have? I mean, I can remember actually, you know, as an Oshkosh guy, when the 1157 came home. It was pretty cool. I mean, you know, there was a parade and the town came out. They were welcome home as heroes. It was really neat.
We got home around midnight.
Okay.
No parades, no nothing. They scheduled a parade a little while later and stuff like that. We just had to go home, unpack, and try to get some semblance of order before, you know, other events took place and everything else.
Okay. And Rob, you're just smiling a little bit.
There you go. Okay.
Dumb down.
At the risk of incriminating myself, I think my smile just pretty much says.
Okay. You had a good time.
I had a great time.
Okay. And then Mark, what was it?
Well, I have to say I came back in a hammock, or not a hammock.
Oh yeah.
I was hurt, so the body cast on, and we end up. I did get to see the unit come in. You know, when they came in, it was about maybe 3-4 months later. You know, but yeah, I came back, but you know, not the greatest shape, and a little injury, and they fixed it there at was at Fort Sill. So
Did you want? So you're at Fort Sill.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it like? Does everybody go to Fort Sill?
Yeah.
It's a big base.
It's a big base.
Yeah.
I've never been. I've never been there.
You're not missing a whole lot.
No.
It's like Fort Riley, Kansas, only south.
And hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did. Well, we both did our fair share of Bragg, you know, and Benning.
It's Fort Liberty now and Fort Moore
I
now.
know, but it's old dogs, you know. It's still Benning and Bragg that went on from there.
Cancel culture. You
Yeah,
gotta watch yourself.
I'm still going to call it a crescent wrench. I don't care who makes it.
Yeah, no, it was good. So, what do you think? What were some of the lessons learned? You think from? Well, first, you guys had some dynamic generals and leaders. I mean, they were like rock stars.
Storm and Norman.
Schwarzkopf, and then you had
Colin
Colin
Powell.
Powell,
Yeah.
and, I mean, and a variety of other folks came out of it. I mean, what were some of your lessons? What are things you walked away with that Desert Storm in your service?
As you said, the leadership was amazing. I mean, even my division commander, my battalion commander, consummate professional. To this day, I would follow that gentleman into hell. The lesson learned is I think they should have let us finish the job the first time.
Yeah, well,
You know, I got as far as Safwan, and my unit was one of the units that guarded the ceasefire agreement. And I feel we shouldn't have gave up. We wouldn't have had to go back over there the second time if we would have just bounced Saddam out of there to begin with. And how did they not know that we would be back over there, that Saddam was going to be back pulling the same bag of tricks?
Yeah.
Genocide and all that other happy stuff.
Oh yeah, that you know, it's stuff not talked too much about. But I mean, literally, I mean, he was killing his own people. And he was killing the Kurds, folks in the marshes. It was bad. Shiites.
He had no qualms about using biological weapons on them, or by any means necessary, for that matter.
Yeah. So, Rod, any lessons,
Well,
thoughts?
some of the trust issues came up and stuff like that when we heard that around one of the bases, the news people asked the Arab guards what would they do if, you know, they actually came towards us. And some of them hesitated or didn't know what they were going to do and this kind of stuff. And they found out that half of the guards, the Arab guards, were actually Iraqi.
Oh wow.
They weren't in the Iraqi military. They were hired by the Saudis and so forth to do all this stuff. And as soon as that happened, orders went out and said, hey, if there's an actual threat, well, we arrest and get rid of the Arab guards and put up our own people.
Yeah. So, look, do you see any? What were the lessons you think?
Well, we kind of had a trust. You said you could trust. We had some issues, but we started learning what the people were like, and finally could one or two guys there we could ask, you know, for assistance with, and heck, one guy even helped us one hand and all. He was helping us put up our net over our MKT, but you know, he spoke very good English. I had no problem with that. Every now and then you see some, like I said, those BMWs going around the berm up there, and I said, wow, this is strange. You know, they're all wearing Arab clothes. What are they doing? You know, they're taking photos. You can't really see that much. You know, that was a little scary. You know, and of course they got the ammo depot right near us. So
That'll do it.
not good. But I just think the experience over there, to learn the culture a little bit. I wasn't there that long. It was probably about a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. Then I got hurt, and then I came back. So, but you know, I think those people over there, you know, they needed the ones we've seen anyways were pretty decent. They weren't too bad. Heard of issues stuff that happened to people over there, and in fact, I think about 95% of the injuries you see back in Garrison, these guys are playing games out there, and it wasn't good. Somebody gets hit with a frisbee or something like that. Another guy would just horse around with his sharpen his knife, and he gouged a hole in his leg. I said, "Wow, not good," But it was a good experience. So I can't say nothing, really bad. But I wasn't there that long, so long enough to get hurt.
Anything on your mind you want to catch these guys for?
I was kind of wondering, you kind of addressed it already, but if the second invasion of Iraq kind of opened up any wounds for you all, or you had any feelings about that?
I was kind of mad I wasn't invited back. My feelings were kind of hurt, to be honest with you.
I asked to go back in, but they didn't need me, so I said, okay, fine, and have to work it that way. But, well, I kind of expected it.
Thought maybe you could get to hang some rounds this time.
Yeah.
It was funny because, at first, for me, it was, I can remember with the Desert Storm guys were like, yeah, we're going to get the job done, And then as time went by, all of a sudden it was like, they did get the job. I mean, you guys got a mission complete. And then all of a sudden that it like flipped for me, or all of a sudden it was like, these guys, I mean, you're the closest you think about it, like with World War I or World War II, that, I mean, you get to look at your season record and go, hey, we got a W. So, but this is a question I got to ask though, with the time we have left. All three of you are members of DAV, Chapter 17.
Yes, sir.
We should say we are DAV, Chapter 17, Winnebago County, Rage Fuller Chapter, that we are. And all of you have been, Rod especially, you've been served in a lot of positions in the DAV, from, your past chapter commander.
I joined around about 2001, 2002, and doing.
What? How'd you get in the DAV? Did George?
No, I went to American Legion, and Mark Pendergast
Okay, yeah.
recruited me for the DAV.
Okay. Yeah, and you've been, and then you've also on the department level. I seem to recall, I think,
Treasurer.
finance,
Deputy Treasurer.
treasurer, and were you finance chair at one time, or
Yes,
on the committee,
finance
I thought.
chairs and stuff like that. Sergeant at Arms up there.
Yeah.
But always been too busy and stuff like that with work to be anything permanent up there. Working anywhere from 8.5 to 11.5 hours a day.
Yeah, but still, the amount of time, with work that you're able to do is amazing. So, Mark, what about it for the DAV for you? You were a senior vice.
Senior
for the chapter,
vice, yeah.
Junior vice,
yeah.
and then you're volunteering at
A lot of volunteering work, yeah.
Okay.
And
I know we're heading into our final minute real quick, so Rob, speak fast. Okay.
Third year trustee. I'm one of the newer members of the chapter. There, I'm done.
Yeah, but not, are you a driver down at the DAV?
I am not. I would love to. My work schedule prohibits it.
True. So, so all of us, and we're all involved as well with DAV.
of course, yeah.
Matter of fact, this guy was like the DAV National Veteran of the Year.
Yes.
I wonder how many people turned it down before they find someone.
At least you got to go to the Super Bowl for it.
I did.
Oh yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty
humble-
You got to
what a
hang out
humble
with
guy.
Gronk and those
Yeah,
guys, man.
I was
So,
impressed. That was an awesome experience. But
But
thank you for joining us for another episode of The Outpost.
All right.
Okay.